Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Sensible Nomads. So we've got a new little toy here today. We've got the Rhino Tote. It's a 36 gallon, or 136 liters. And I just picked this up today. As you can see behind me, we've got the two campers here. We've got the trailer, we've got the camper. This one here I borrowed from my parents. We're hanging out in there right now. As of this recording, we are in, not lockdown, but kind of, we've got the coronavirus thing going on. So I am kind of trying to live out of here, out of these two. Got my daughter in our trailer camper here, and the rest of us are in the trailer. So it's proving to be very interesting. But I'm going to do a little unboxing of this Rhino. I just ordered this. I'm up in Canada, so I got it from a company called Lordco, and they're more of an auto parts dealer than they are RV stuff. But I usually get some really good deals on things. Down in the States, this guy here goes for 136 US. Up here in Canada, it goes for about 250 or 230, something like that. I ended up getting this one here for 330, 350, somewhere in that neck of the woods, over the $300 mark. I ended up buying this for 290 all in, taxes in. Still ridiculous, I think. You know, it's almost double from the US dollar, so a little bit annoying. But anyway, it's big. It's a lot bigger than I expected for 36 gallons. Yeah, she's pretty good size. So let's crack this box open and see what we got. I mean, the reason why I got this one specifically is because it does have all these different components inside it. And I don't know if you've done a lot of research on this, but you know, it's got all these different pieces here that come with it. So, you know, I guess it kind of offsets it. I really like the idea of being able to hang it on to the back of your camper. Although if you look on my camper here, behind where the Jolly Jumper is there for the baby, there should be a ladder right there. And I am going to add the ladder onto that guy. And that's where that little rascal is going to be housed when we get moving. So in the meantime, really why I got this right now was because with us in here, we need to have a way to get the sewer out of here. I'll tell you what, like, that was a real challenge to get inside here. I bought one of those little electric dollies. Man, that was tough to get that beast in here. So I don't want to be moving it in and out to do dump runs. So this was really the only option. So let's crack this open and see what we get. In this, package of all the parts there for connecting. The typical cardboard crap in there, as usual. Oh, that is her. She's big. I'm 6'2", and this thing here is, you know, that's a good 4 feet tall. What else we got there? That's some hoses. This here, which is the bar for towing it, which is another one of the reasons why I really like this idea. Back in there. Back in there. Okay. And that is all the pieces for it. Let's toss this back in here. Okay. So for those of you who've checked out other reviews, a lot of you have probably seen this piece right here. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of a space there, so almost looks like that part's ready to pop off anyway. So I think I'm going to do what their modifications are. Pop this thing off, drill a hole, put a cotter pin in there, or some kind of pin system to make sure that these tires don't pop off as you're wheeling it around. So I'm pretty impressed. You know, the welds all look good on the plastic. You can kind of see how it looks design-wise. Looks pretty decent. It's got already the cap on the gate there. Not bad. Looks pretty good. Let's lift her up and flip her around. It's got a nice steel hook here, which is going to hook onto the ladder, or it's the kind of that landing gear down when you're sitting in this position. Let's take a look how this guy hooks up. Now, I guess I'm just going to set this down. I guess this goes up over here like this. That to me seems a little bit high. I wonder if there's a way to make it go differently. I guess not. I guess that's the only option. But, oh well, if your truck's sitting like about this, I guess that's not a bad one. Not a bad height to go with. Let's check out these other items here. Okay. So here's the angle. Really good thing to have when you're loading up. And here's the other connecting piece that will go on the bottom when you're dumping out on the side here. So you'll have your flexible tube there, that going into the dump, this coming out. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I think everything's very organized how they've got it set up in here. It's got a couple caps here for the drain pipe. Vent caps with the vent caps. Oh, they stuck them together. Do this single-handedly. Oh, they've actually screwed them together. Sorry about that. That'll go like that onto that one. And this will go onto this one where there is a clean out. So inside this little guy right here, there is one of those clean outs. So you can hook your water line onto here, blow it all out from the inside, and that keeps the inside of this guy nice and clean. And that's it. They give you a little water line that you can use for flushing out. And of course, you definitely do not want to use your water line that would go into your rig to put fresh water in. It'll contaminate it, cross-contaminate that, and that's the last thing you need to be out in the middle of nowhere and have that happening. So that's about it. We will get into, I'm going to do on the big trailer here a little sample of this. We're going to go unload some of the, actually maybe I'll do this one here first, because I do know that my daughter has been using the washroom in there, and my son. So maybe what we'll do is we'll run off that one first, see how it loads up, and just to see how, as you're filling it, to make sure that you can actually see how much is going in there so you don't overfill it, how that works on that clear glass. So let's go to that next and we'll see how this looks. Okay, so I'm finding it a little bit tricky on here. If you got big hands, it's really difficult to get into this spot right here. So I've grabbed a screwdriver to put these little retainers on, and that is about the only way that I could get this little retainer on. My hands are way too big for this, so let's see if I can make that work. And there we go. On. Yeah, it's tricky. So if you're out in the field trying to do this, man, you're gonna have a heck of a time. That's that one. These ones here, I'm just gonna flip these ones around just so everything's kind of working together. Actually, maybe I'll leave that just like that because that'll spin better. Just like that, and like that. And that should do it. This one here's I've got another retainer. I should go look on the instructions to see where this one goes. Oh, I know what this one. This one's gonna come up here. And this one is not in use. We are going to have a nice Easy like that. Okay, let's go up to the camper and we're gonna test this guy out. Okay, so one thing they suggest doing, which is I think pretty obvious, is to make sure that one of these that port there is open. It's a little breather valve which will allow, as you're filling, not to create a vacuum in here. And we're going to undo that. Everything's nice and stiff because it's brand new. And that one's going to go onto here. There, and this one up. Oh, gross. Now this gate is already closed, so I'm not sure why that's leaking out already, but good stuff. Now, note to self, always wear gloves when you're doing this type of stuff. So let me go grab my gloves, I'll be right back. Okay, got the good old gloves on. Let's get this connected up. Like so, that's open, this is ready to go. Make sure the gate's on the sides closed, and I think we should be ready to rock and roll. Let's check it out. So yes, this is a little bit stinky. It's venting out that side there. So of course not much you can do about that. No solids in here. I've asked them not to do the number 2 in this camper. They can go into the house for right now. One thing I do, and this is a little bit of a tip or a trick for you, is it actually fills it up probably about halfway. So a little bit more than I suspected would be inside there, because the tank in there is actually pretty small. But what I'd actually like to do now, I turn the gate off, and I'm going to run the water inside there just to flush that out a bit. And that'll help, you know, clean out any of the deposits and stuff like that that's in the bottom of the tank inside the camper. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll flush this out. One thing I was going to say, I put for, what do you call it? Fabric softener inside the tank, so when you're traveling it actually blends inside there, and supposedly it's biodegradable, so it works very, very well for keeping the tank smelling good as you're driving. As I don't know if you have a camper, you'll find that campers get pretty stinky after they've been shaken up after you're driving, so using something inside there, conditioner or whatever like that, is a really good idea. So that helps out for the smell big time. Let's get on to the flushing and see how that looks. I want to get this cleaned up a bit more, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so this is what I usually use for flushing out my tank, but this thing just broke as I was putting it together. It's a great concept. You drop this into your tank, there's a little spinner on here, cleans everything out as it's spinning around in a circle, almost like a power wash. Works great. But this just broke, so I can't say that I'm going to recommend this or not at this moment. I've got another hose here that I use specifically for my sewer stuff, so I'm just going to drop this in, let it flush, and we'll see how this comes out here. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, I'm filling up the tank, letting it build up a little bit of water inside there, and then I'll open this gate and let it flush out, keeping an eye on the volume that's inside here to make sure that we don't overflow. let's get this. So I want to see this come out more clear. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to do a little bit of start and stop on here just to make sure it's building up a little pressure to allow it to come out. Not leaving it too long because I don't want that tank to open up too much. Let's spin you around just a little bit here so you can see what's going on. And we'll give her another open. There, that's coming through pretty clear. Clearer. So maybe what I'll do now is I'll shut her off. Coming out pretty clear here. I still got quite a bit of room inside there, maybe a little bit over half tank, something like that. So not bad. Let's shut this one down. I'm just going to take the hose out, rinse this out, and that's that for this. Okay, let's open this guy up here. Make sure we're good there. Yeah, it does have a little residual sitting on there. I'm just going to rinse this out just a little bit. Again, this is a sewer dedicated line. You know, it's clear. Rinse it now. And that's it. I am now ready to transport this over to the Sani, which is several kilometers away. Put the Loctite job on there. Down deal. Actually, this isn't the one. I need to grab that other orange one right here. And yes, it does smell a little bit there. This will pop off here. Cap both ends on this. Leaking anywhere. That's it. Let's head over to the Sani dump. We'll dump this all out, and that's going to be part one of the review for this. Okay, we are here now at Husky. It's right behind me. Husky in Burnaby. I live in Vancouver, so we're here. It's a pretty simple process. So we're going to basically go from the back of my truck. I'm going to slide this forward. And we're going to go down into there, which somebody obviously didn't clean this out very nicely afterwards. Brought my extra long one here for the RV, just in case. I'm kind of glad I did, because I think the other one's not going to be quite long enough to do this. So let's get this all set up. Let's see how this looks. So again, we've got to make sure that the top here is undone on the breather valve, and let this gate open just slowly to let it start to come out. Sorry about all the noise around me. There we go. Just going to tune it down a bit here. There we go. Really too much to see here, but you get the idea. It's running down inside there now. Coming from this gate, it's not completely open; it's partially open. And as it cools, as it comes down here, I'm gonna open it a little bit more to get more flow out. But you can see it's kind of a probably a good 5 or 6 feet of pipe right here. So glad I brought this because I don't think the other one is quite as long. Which will then make it difficult to do this operation. I'd have to actually take it out of the back of my truck. And being that it's the size it is, we got about 300 pounds full, if it's full, 300 pounds of liquid inside here. So it wouldn't be the easiest thing to maneuver by myself. All right, let's open this gate all the way now. I guess I make note, I don't smell anything, thankfully. Right now it's drawing air into here, into the top of the tank as it's coming through, so it's actually sucking the smell that way. So this, surprisingly, is not getting a whole lot of smell out of there, thankfully. And of course, once this is done, I brought my own hose because I know a lot of times these guys don't have hoses set up here, and I just want to make sure that I can give this a good clean when I'm done. I'm going to hook this on right now and get it ready. There's a hose spigot behind me there. So behind the camera, not behind me, behind the camera here. I'm going to hook on. Once we get pretty close to done, which we're getting there, not quite there yet. And I'll turn this one on and get this flushing out. Start doing that right now. We're doing this just on time. We're starting to get a little bit of rain coming through here. As you can hear, a little bit of thunder and lightning too. All right, let's get out of here. Good timing. I'm presuming the noise that you can hear is a spinner inside here cleaning the snow. I'm just going to let it fill up a little bit here, and then I'll give it a nice flush. There we go. That's quieted down. Let's open this gate again. Close the gate again. We'll do this a couple times just to get it all flushed out. And then that's it for this. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. I think if it was down on the ground, it might be a little bit more difficult just because you don't have the elevation to get the content out as easy. But all in all, it seems pretty straightforward. Seems very easy. I'm happy with the construction of it. Seems like it's built quite well. I will do those modifications on the tires, as I said before. Looks like we're going to start to get a little bit of rain here, so I'm going to make this a little bit quicker. Get this dumped out. Get out of here. Let's see if I can make this guy pop like that. There we go. Alright, so it's got a little... Oh, see what they've done now. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer on here. See what they've done now is they've got a little retainer clip inside here. So it looks like they've upgraded this one. I'm not going to even bother that at this point. The old version didn't have that. The old version had nothing here. So looks like we got a pretty good upgrade. I won't even bother. I did go out and buy cotter pin, drill the hole and set this up properly, but I think we're good to go. It's got some nice bushings in there. I think we're good to go. Okay guys, so my overall review of this Camco Rhino tote, the 36 gallon, pretty impressed with it actually. It's really seems to be quite solidly built. They've done some upgrades which a lot of people have complained about on the tires. Gates look really good. It's a typical Camco equipment on here. Happy they got the little retainers and stuff like that. They've got these little leashes here. There, keep the caps handy, keep it tidy. One thing I kind of wish it would have is some way to store on here, and maybe it doesn't. I haven't figured it out yet, but some way to store the other accessory hoses and the 90-degree elbows and stuff like that. Would be really cool if they had some kind of pouch or some kind of something on here that you can just attach or take off while you're driving with this behind you. It does have that little hitch connection piece, which is really cool. Not many people have. One thing that this doesn't have that some of the other ones do is two wheels up in the front also, and I don't even think it needs it. I think I'd rather save the space and not have it, but overall really impressed with this. Durability seems like it's very well done. These welds, some people have said that their welds have come apart quite quickly. I don't know, I can't really see any weak spots on here that I've seen so far, but I've only used this once, which you saw, so maybe in the future I might change my mind, but at the moment it's looking very, very good. So yeah, very impressed. Very hardy looking, you know, solidly built unit here. So excellent condition, excellent product, I should say. There you go. So that's a wrap for this video. If you like it, don't forget to share it, like it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I'm going to be doing more on the adventure camper, and maybe even some more on this one here. It's my parents' trailer here, and it's got a little bit of electrical issues, so I'm going to be running through a few things on that. So I think that's about it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See you then.